and welcome to the Port Huron Statement. I'm a little bit pleased, even though the outcome of the election was incredibly disappointing, because I have over 1,000 views in the past 28 days, and I've only put $2 behind this channel, so it's actually kind of, performing decently well, which is encouraging. Most of it's my songs, but I'm pretty surprised that I'm getting views on this, considering it's almost intolerable. Sorry. Yeah. I don't know how you do it. I know it's interesting to try and elucidate how much of the viewing that I'm getting is opposition research, I guess, and how much of it it's like authentic. So I had way less views than I thought from promotion, like 170 all for Paco Bell's Canon and D pod, which was way less than I thought it would be, almost all of it. They won't let me promote most of the other stuff because it was considered politically whatever. For real. What else? Oh, I had a good topic for today. Hold on, I gotta sneeze. I did too. What was it? Oh man. What was the topic? It was a good one. Should I talk about bridge instead? I'm sorry. Oh yeah, I saw someone that I had known a while ago at the beach, and I've been conceptualizing this episode, and I think that what I had done was more or less spew at them this entire episode, and now all I can think about is playing bridge. And you know what, that's actually as good of a topic as anything. I mean, it'd be a good, change. If you don't know about the card game Bridge, I highly suggest that you learn about it. It is not only a very interesting game, but if you have the patience and, the mind for it, it will make you smarter, like objectively and measurably smarter if you really invest in it. And I mean, it'll take years. I'm 5-6 years into my bridge journey. I would consider myself a decent bridge player, definitely an intermediate plus level. I do have a couple books on bidding theory and how to bid, and because I played card games for a long time, I'm pretty good at executing the hand. So the playing of the hand. But it's the bidding, and also one thing that I'll say that I am a little lacking in is analyzing the strength of the hand based on the position of strength. So when you have a intervening bid, say you open a hand, there's an intervening bid, and then your partner responds, or you open a hand, your partner responds, and there's an intervening, where that's located is relevant. If strength can squeeze, or if I have to lead to their strength. Does that make sense? That's another thing about manipulating the lead and the placement of the lead, and paying attention to the bid so that you can figure out where people are strong when that opportunity arises, and also, of course, having a good bidding convention and system established between yourself and your partner so that you can elucidate as much as possible about their hand. And there are multiple different types of bidding conventions. Oh, it's a fabulous game. It's a fabulous game. Plus, it is duplicate bridge is essentially virtually zero luck game. There is some luck, obviously, because there is an unknown element, and so you are taking chances where an element of luck, I guess, does play a role, although these are calculated and statistical risks. If I have a true 50-50 where I really don't know if an honor or a high card is to my left or to my right, and so I don't know if I'm going to split. So let's say there's a queen out there and I have ace, or no, there's a queen out there and I have ace jack. And Now, my partner leads to me. He plays a low card in that suit, right? Now, the person to my right plays, let's say, a 10. Now, if he has the queen and I play my jack, then I just stole a trick, because now I can still play that ace behind the queen that would otherwise be the top card, so that's called a split. Like, it's usually done, the most common one would be like ace queen. So if the lead comes from across you or to your immediate left, let's say 3 of hearts gets played, your partner plays 10 of hearts. The next play is jack of hearts. You have ace queen. Now you want to know, you're trying to figure out, is the player that played the jack, is he protecting his king and I should play my queen, or is the king to my left and if I play my queen it'll get taken by the player to my left? Then the next question is this a good opportunity to take that risk, or is this a bad opportunity to take that risk? If I lose, if I gain the lead, will that advantage me, or do I want to place the lead to my left so that I can be the last play? There's a lot to do, or there's a lot that goes into evaluating those types of plays. It's a beautiful game. If you play spades, then you already know how the gameplay works. Spades is a simplified version of bridge, where spades is always trump, and rather than bidding on not only the number of tricks you have to take, but also the suit, so spades simplifies it, so everything, it's always spades is trump. In bridge, spades, hearts, clubs, diamonds, and even no trump can all be the trump call, and you bid kind of similar to spades, depending on what version of spades you're playing. Look into it. If you want to become more intelligent, improve your life in every way, and have an interesting hobby that will strangely identify other intelligent, interesting people, it's bridge. If you can play bridge, I need a partner myself too, like a human one, not one on bridge base. But everyone that plays is much older than me, and I'm also much better than them. But yeah, that was the idea too. I remember laughing to myself walking back here, like, oh well, if I can't think of anything, or if I can't think of what I was trying to, which is funny, if I can't think of what I was trying to talk about, then I'll just talk about bridge, because really, if I could get, people playing that game, it would result in people just being smarter, and then it would naturally improve society in its due course. If we can make the society smarter, then they'll be less susceptible to indoctrination and other manipulation, exploitation schemes, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Ultimately, these things go hand in hand. Like, global justice will not be possible until justice is realized in the United States, and beyond that, until we have altruistic and talented leaders. And for that to happen, the American public need to be more informed, more generally educated, more intelligent, more skeptical, yeah. So, it's a chicken and the egg thing too. It'd be easy to make them all of those things if we had better government. But we're not going to get better government because it's a nation of morons. It's a nation of people that have been intentionally made stupid. You can't be born this stupid. You have to be made this stupid. If everyone was just truly like a child, it would be much easier, because children have a natural intuition for ethics. That's why in the Bible it says, be like the children. Children don't manipulate intellectual fraud. They don't try to convince you that they're a prophet or some other saintly figure in order to exploit you. They don't engineer, false narratives and support those narratives with either erroneous or, you know, out of context supporting documents, information, etc. I mean, I've been reading about a lot of things that have come from individuals that have found themselves wrapped up in the same entity, that one of the many entities that I've found to be particularly abhorrent that's operating in the area. I mean, I guess obviously if nothing's beyond the pale, then nothing's beyond the pale. But for some reason, it keeps surprising me the things that people are willing to do. You know, like there's nothing that they wouldn't be willing to do. You know, say there's nothing holy to them because they are the only thing that's real. You know, so we have millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of narcissists that are coalescing around a couple ideas exclusively for the purpose of exploiting you. I mean, it needs to be addressed in a coordinated and in mass way. It needs to be intelligently addressed and immediately. Yeah. If you're listening to this and you're involved in a high control group and you want out, port_Huron at proton.me. I don't care where. I'll try and, I mean, you know, it's building an infrastructure type thing, and gosh, so many balks. But you know, talking to people that are have already broken ties, it's like, you know, it's available. It's available. Yeah, it's like the isolation, ostracization, social manipulation, like essentially creating a paradigm in which people are so discouraged from educating themselves via soft power and influence, and what is ultimately virtue signaling. You know, the creation of the myth of virtue surrounding ignorance and naivete. That is not a real virtue at all, and nothing in the Bible suggests that being stupid and easily exploited is a virtue. It's very much the opposite. Very, very much the opposite. Also, the ends never justify the means in the Jesus paradigm. Very much so the opposite. The means are the ends in our lives. What we do is the point. There is no end. There is no ends. What your very act of living and being and seeking ends is the end. So if you think that what your accomplishment will justify the way that you accomplished it, you are very, very mistaken. That's wrong. You cannot. You can't draw that from the New Testament and the Bible in totality. And like, I'm not comfortable bringing these things up so much. The reason that I'm bringing up these interpretations of the Bible is because I'm bumping into them so much. Subordination, obedience, submission, you know, essentially, that is an indoctrination and oppression trick of, you know, it's a very condensed and insidious mixture of the like might makes right and repetition makes right, you know, the intimidation into agreement, you know, and then embedded in that is a shaming and moralizing mechanism. Whenever anyone starts shaming you because you have a desire to educate yourself, you are in a high control group. Period. What the nature of that high control group is, you know, I cannot say, but I can tell you, whenever anyone is actively seeking to prevent you from educating yourself about fucking anything, they are exploiting your ignorance. please see through this because it's times millions. Millions. Oh man. Oh, I remember what I want to talk about. It was the fucking goddamn. It was the Native American mascots. That's what it was. I want to talk about Native American mascots and specifically in Maine, and then the Washington Redskins situation. I could talk about that tomorrow. For sure. That was a segue into something else. Oh, yes. I remember exactly the train of thought that I was on. I don't want to jump in there right now. Let's not go there right now. Let's just slide that one from I'm going to cut my hair into bangs tomorrow. That'll be perfect. What I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about, the Native American mascots and related topics and how that plight parallels the plight of the working poor down in terms of socioeconomically in America right now, rather than ethnicity, nationality, skin color being the determinant of dehumanization. Now it is purely financial. So we have moved past our bigoted past, and now we only are going to discriminate against you based on your wealth. Now, the fact that those things are directly related to your fucking exploitation in the past, that's irrelevant, because if we just strip the dignity and opportunity from the poor, then who's going to be upset about it? Because gosh, there's no empowered in-group that will cross-identify with white poor men. I mean, not that it's exclusively white poor men. I mean, there's obviously poor men of every color and creed, and women as well. But I feel like the in-group is manipulated even in philanthropy. I'm not saying white poor deserve any special treatment, but the atavism, the psychology, the culture has been steered and manipulated such that if you're not really conscious of it, you're gonna get swept up in the tribalizing, the in-group, out-group manipulation, even with the best intentions. I guess the point is we need to move towards one humanity, and disproportionately the poor whites are the ones that refuse to contribute to the exploitation at large. My point is merely we need to coalesce regardless of station or of nationality or color or any of these things. We need to support one another regardless of whether we think that our poverty is our own fault or whatever. I mean, in this culture, we are responsible for ourselves and our outcomes, certainly more than a lot of other places, but as a person trends closer and closer to a truly conscious and ethical existence, they more and more become vulnerable to special types of exploitation, targeting, and harassment. Not to mention, I do my best not to enrich nefarious causes, people, or organizations, and I have quit 50 W-2 style jobs on that basis. Because at my intelligence level, if I'm not able to find a niche where I can etch out a living that doesn't jeopardize someone else's existence or cause them consequences in some way, then no one can, I feel like. And like, because I've known that I was high genius for a long time, I didn't know what my particular Wechsler score really meant in terms of, I thought that the numbers, I thought I went to 200, and I actually made it a point never to look into IQ tests much, because I didn't want to develop an excessively self-important sort of worldview type thing. Like, I don't think that Wechsler score is in any way a direct one-to-one with intelligence. In fact, it is irrelevant. It says something about something, but, your IQ test is in no means a cap on your potential. It just is more or less describing your competence and speed at deductive reasoning, spatial reasoning, pattern recognition, stuff like that. So I don't know. It's also trainable, right? So, like playing bridge will make you smarter, and being smarter will make you a better person in every single way. Every way. I mean, even though I am just in a perpetual plight of misfortune, a suspicious misfortune, I know I'm being actively, what do they call it? I've had a couple instances of malicious destruction of property occur to my property, and a lot of theft, and then a lot of bizarre fraud situations. But I've lost a lot, and not just recently. Throughout my entire life, I've lost a lot because I refuse to do anything unethical. I mean, a lot of the reason why I get harassed by the police here is because I wouldn't embrace a situation here in town. The reason why I initially moved here. Yeah, I won't make an ethical decision to protect my income.